Well, g'day curd nerds. Today we're making spicy melty cheese, better known as, I suppose, spicy American cheese. Well, I got this idea because a long time ago I made some triple pepper jack. And it was a very hot little cheese, so hot that I nearly had flames coming out my mouth. So I decided to use my tried and true method of making melty cheese by adding sodium citrate, some water and some cheese that I've made. So this is a combination of two cheeses, the triple pepper jack, about half of that, about 250 grams, and then 250 grams of a Tomme that I had sitting in the fridge, not doing much. Now the triple pepper jack was really crumbly, and you'll see that when I'm grating the cheese. However, the Tomme was very nice, easy to grate, and both combined well and melted, and here's the result. Anyway, let's get on and see how I made the spicy melty cheese. So I'm using the triple pepper jack that I made, was ready back in September 18. So it's nearly a year old. I've been sitting in my normal kitchen fridge, and there's some Tomme, which I made, I think, even well before that. So just removing the cheese from the bags there and cutting out the right proportion. Now, I found that the Tomme was a little bit sticky in the vacuum packing, but they both smelt okay and they were both fine. There you can see the chili flakes and stuff through the pepper jack there. Now, I wanted about 500 grams, so I was fairly spot on, which was pretty good, give or take 20 grams. But 500 grams was what I was aiming for. I wanted a little bit of a firmer cheese than I had last time when I made American cheese. So now grate yourself 500 grams or 1.1 pounds of the cheese of your choice. You don't have to use these two cheeses. If you can find a spicy one, or if you've made a spicy one, then that's absolutely fantastic. But later on in the process, I'll show you where you can add chili flakes or chili powder if you need to. Now, I find that by grating the cheese, it melts and emulsifies a lot quicker. So make sure you don't skip on this step and just throw the blocks of cheese into your pot. Okay, that's all done. So we're going to add half a cup of water to a saucepan. Now, if you want a cheese that's a little bit more solid, then you can take out probably 50 millilitres and only add 200 millilitres. Now add 15 grams or half an ounce of sodium citrate, very essential to make the emulsification. And just stir the sodium citrate until it's dissolved in the water. Now I've turned on the heat there to start heating it up, getting it ready for when I'm going to add the cheese. So now add all the grated cheese into the water sodium citrate mixture, and you're going to melt it and stir it until it's a cheesy-like, melted cheesy consistency. So get every little bit out of the bowl. Don't want to waste any of this precious cheese. Right, so we just stir that now. And you see it's starting to emulsify there, and that's even before it's starting to get hot. But as it heats up, it melts a lot easier. So I'm adding some annatto because I didn't think it was yellow enough. You can add up to about 12 drops. I think I added about 7 there. And give that a good stir. It makes it a little bit yellower or orange. Just adds to the... it makes it more pleasing to the eye. That's what I found anyway. Especially when it's a chili style cheese. You want it to look a little bit hotter. Anyway, with that all mixed in, and it's a fairly smooth consistency now and quite warm, I tasted it just before this and found that it was lacking in salt, so you can add salt to taste. That's a quarter of a teaspoon there. Not very much salt at all. Because remember, the cheese has already got salt in it. Now, if you didn't use any spicy cheese up front, now's the time to add chili powder or chili flakes, and then just add that to taste. So, the taste test went okay. That tastes consistently nice and spicy. I'm just checking to make sure, because the heat's been off for a while there. And now we're going to pour it into our mould. You can use a flat baking tray, that's no hassle, and just pour that on there. Just make sure it's a decent thickness. If you're going for the craft singles sort of look, a baking tray is probably better than this. But I wanted small blocks of cheese that I could ration, because they would go fairly fast in this house. So now all you have to do is place the cheese in the kitchen fridge for at least 2 hours to firm up. So that was fairly easy. I put this in the fridge. You can leave it for about 2 hours and it goes solid. I left this overnight. It's no big deal. So what I'm basically going to do now is turn the cheese out onto my cheese platter, onto the cheese board, and see what it looks like. So here goes nothing. So I used a flexible silicone mold, which we normally sell on the soap making side, the melt and pour soap making side, but they're food grade, so I've got no hesitation using them for this sort of thing. I'm not doing a very good job here. Right, there we go. That's 2 slabs. Don't know if you can see them, but they're full of chili seeds and chili flakes, so should be very interesting. Turning out quite well. And last but not least, there's a little taster bit there. Right, so I'll have to soak that in hot water and that get rid of the cheese gunk in the corners. Alrighty, we've got our tower of cheese here. Here's a bit that is perfect for tasting. Let's just cut a couple of bits off. Looks like it'll melt really easily because, well, hey, it melted when it was in the pot. So let me just try the flavour. Oh, that is spicy, bloody hell. I forgot how truly hot this cheese really was. And even the combination of the Tomme with it really hasn't taken much edge off of the cheese. Oh, buddy, that is really hot. But strangely, it tastes very, very nice. That's a very nice little cheese, even in its new combination. Now remember, I got the yellowing colour from the annatto. Probably put about, must have been about 20 drops, easy, to get this orangey, dark yellow sort of colour. But I kind of wanted, because I wanted to look like it was hot and spicy, so. Not that I really needed that, but my goodness. Very nice. Just another twist on American sort of cheese, or style, or melty cheese. Maybe I shouldn't call it American cheese, because American cheese is traditionally a combination of cheddar and Colby, or say Monterey Jack and Colby, where this is, yeah, sure, it's got the Monterey Jack in it, or the triple pepper jack, but I used Tomme as the other half. But, you know, who wants to waste cheese? It wasn't going to get eaten in a long time, so I thought, hey, why not use it for this? Now, this will get snapped up by Ben and Kim. They love this sort of cheese, as do I now. I can't deny it. I really do like this style of cheese. It's a great way to get rid of your leftovers, and it melts perfectly in cheese toasties or grilled cheese sandwiches. And it'd be fantastic. This one in particular would be fantastic if I sliced a bit off and put it over a burger. Oh, it'd be so nice. Anyway, This is melty cheese. Now you can check out how to make sodium citrate over on the video over here if you can't buy any in the shops near you. Well, thanks for watching, Curd Nerds. Hope you enjoyed this mashup sort of video of two different cheeses into one. So that's my spicy melty cheese. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.